Vomiting Rainbows.
Episode 20. This one, we go through a whole bunch of exciting things. So we go through a lot of Trump talk, a lot of CIA talk. We talk about this lady who was scorned. Her name was Angela Diaz, and the revenge that she got.
And you're saying that this will not only be a Lifetime movie, but maybe a full-blown Hollywood production eventually. Maybe Angelina Jolie playing one of the twos, the psycho or the victim.
Absolutely. And then we talk about whales. Enjoy. Episode 20. Dude, 20.
That's crazy.
This is 20.
This is like a serious relationship at this
Dude,
point, Doug.
I know. Dude, this is the most time we've spent with each other in 20 years.
It's true. It is true. I normally see you probably, well, there when I lived in the city, obviously,
there were definitely,
probably, there were times where I would see you probably every couple of weeks, but then we go months.
Yeah, then we go months and years.
But yeah, man. 20. Episode 20. It's amazing. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is a milestone for us. And
it's a milestone for any podcast, Doug.
It is.
They say that most podcasts don't go past like 5 episodes. I was shocked when we went 10, and now we've doubled our efforts. We're at 20.
We're crushing it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And, first off, this is Vomiting Rainbows, in case you have no idea what you're listening to or why you accidentally stumbled on this.
That's right. It could be our 20th episode, but it might be someone's first.
That could be true. And we hope that they go back and listen to all of them.
That's right.
So this is basically a podcast where I tell Mike over there stories that he knows nothing about. And then he chews them up and spits them right back at me. And today I'm wearing a lovely shirt that commemorates the 20th episode, in which I have artistically put out the 10, crossed out the 10 from our 10th episode T-shirt and put 20.
I think it's cool that we have a 10th episode T-shirt.
We do have a 10th episode T-shirt, and you washed yours, and you said it didn't handle well.
It didn't handle well at all, but I think you're probably supposed to wash it in cold, and I think I washed it in warm.
Did you wash? Really?
Yeah, so like wherever it's white, it's all red now. I still wear it. I don't care. I mean,
Yeah, well, and then you're wearing the commemorative Lake Chabot T-shirt.
That's right, baby. East Bay Regional Park District.
The one that you wore for like the first 10 episodes.
I think it's just my Tuesday shirt. It just comes in the rotation,
Yeah, it's either that or some other like place that you visited that you got a T-shirt.
Yeah, if I go out in nature, I always try to get a shirt. Like if I go to a national park or something, I always try to represent, because I try to subliminally encourage people to get out in nature, man. I love the East Bay Regional Park System. It's awesome. If you live in San Francisco and you're just like, oh my God, Golden Gate Park is so rad, and Ocean Beach is so rad, and like you just keep going there and going there and going there, it's okay to go to the East Bay and check out the East Bay Regional Park System. It is awesome.
Especially if you live in the East Bay now.
Exactly. Then it's super easy.
Because I remember when you lived in the Ocean Beach, you're like, duh, come out to Ocean Beach. It's so rad.
It is. I know. But, I used to go to a lot of the parks in the East Bay, even when I lived in San Francisco, because they're that much better. Don't want to start a whole turf war, like a park turf war, but I'm just saying it's awesome. So many like rad hikes.
I don't remember many times you were like, hey, Doug, let's go hike in the East Bay. It was always like, hey, Doug, I got this couch. You want to set it on fire on Ocean Beach?
Yeah, well, that's when you could have bonfires on Ocean Beach, and they didn't really regulate what you burnt. That was the days of, those are the days in San Francisco, which I call freedom.
Freedom.
Now it's like, now there's freedom, but you got to get a permit. You got to like get everything signed off on. You can still do a lot of the same stuff you could do back in the 90s.
Right.
But it's just all like, it's all a process now. You got to like get an application and pay a fee. Well, that takes the fun out of it.
One of my favorite things that people used to do was that they would, at the end of the holidays, like right after January 1st, like the first weekend after, everybody would get together and they'd take all their old dead Christmas trees out to Ocean Beach.
Crazy.
And they would just throw them into fires. And if you've never seen a Christmas tree go up,
it's amazing.
It goes up like it's been like lit with propane.
Yeah, and it's almost as cool as Burning Man. But it's like that. Like you get that like, holy, that's fire. Like, yeah, it's exciting.
And then now, like if you try and do that, they'll write you a ticket.
Oh my God, yeah, just for celebrating Christmas. Doug.
Yeah,
they'll be like, what? You were celebrating Christmas?
It's disturbing.
Yeah,
like you're out there, you're drinking beer, making a little fire. But there's nothing even that could catch fire out there. The reason that they say that you have to have a permit now,
why,
and you can't do the burning of the Christmas trees, is because of the smoke, and the pollution.
Oh, spare the air. Yeah, maybe they got something. I don't know. I used to love it because inevitably what would happen is people would have parties at the at the beach. They have bonfires, and then like as the Friday night went on, like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like the party, like you'd see the bonfires kind of go out, and like we'd always have the one that was raging at like 3:30. I'm talking about the bonfire, and so inevitably you'd be like moth to flames, like all like the most wasted of the wasted people, or like a lot of the homeless guys. They would just kind of come up and be like, "Hey, could I sleep next to your fire?" And you start talking to you meet people from like all over the place. And it was great. It was like a beacon, and I had some of the best nights that I ever had in San Francisco was at Ocean Beach bonfire, just because of the weird people I met and their crazy stories. And
well, you can still have the bonfire. You just can't throw a Christmas tree in it.
That's right. Yes. What's the point? You can't go all out.
If you can't throw like random furniture that you have in your house because you have nothing else to burn.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, I did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
So you went there.
We went there.
So I was on my way over here in a cab, listening to my cab driver talk about like the Uber battle.
Uber versus Lyft?
Uber versus cabs.
And
all that kind of stuff. In the background, though, he had our great leader stepping down. He was doing his last.
That's right. It was his farewell address, man.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, he's still got like 10 days left in office, right? I mean, shouldn't he do like I guess they got to give the, on the 20th, it's all about the new guy, right?
I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff to pack up and move out.
Yeah.
He's got stuff to do.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
I listened to some of it, and one of the things that he did take like a little, like several small digs at Trump.
Of course.
But one of them that he said, it often seems like we're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But as a nation, we always continue to rise. So he was trying to say, like, don't get down just because Trump's coming into office.
I think things are going to change on January 20th. I think that some things definitely should change. I think that he should get off Twitter once he becomes president. Like, I don't know, man. There's something about, first of all, are we sure that's him tweeting? And then, like, obviously it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's
if it sounds like something that was well thought out, it's not him.
Yeah.
If it's like knee jerk and like.
Did Obama tweet a lot? Not like
he
this.
Did
he?
Yeah. In fact, Obama started the tweet.
Oh, really?
Like, he was the first president
to ever be on Twitter.
Yeah, to be on Twitter. He was the first social media president.
I guess I like Twitter. It's okay, but like I don't think it's necessarily the best place to kind of do reactionary comments on things when you're the leader of the free world. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
or at least not well thought out ones.
Yeah, I'm really weird when it comes to my expectations of presidential behavior, though, because like I remember being upset that like when Bill Clinton won on MTV, I was like upset about that. I'm like, why is the president on MTV? Like it just bothered me. Like I don't, like, and as the years have gone on, they just. They're on every late night talk show. They're just used to be like, we're the president. Like, if he was on TV, dude, it's because like shit was going down. It was like, it was important. Like, we were about to start a war. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal. And then, like, now you see the president, he's all over the place. He's like,
not doing an SNL skit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Hosting Saturday Night Live. I mean.
Yeah. Like, I just, and most people that I talk to about this, they make fun of me and they're like, dude, like, what's the big deal? But I'm still stuck in that, like, time when, like, I think the president. And I know it's, I know like the office, I don't know if it runs itself, but, it's not like he's like working 20 hours a day on things. It's like, he has downtime and stuff and he can, go on late night talk shows if he wants to. But I like to think that the president like always has more important things to do, like more pressing issues than just doing FaceTime with the nation. You know what I mean? Like, I want my president to be elected and like never see him for 4 years and just all this cool stuff happen. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't need like a public president. I don't need to hear him on Twitter. I don't need to see his picture. I just want him to like get elected and do great things and then just,
The big problem that a lot of presidents face though is that they do things that are unfavorable and then they have to turn the tide somehow to regain that approachability.
That's
as
politics.
the president.
Yeah, that's the politics. Yeah.
So that's really what they're trying to do.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I want to elect a president hermit that's just like, listen, you're not going to hear from me for 4 years, but I'm going to do these 10 things.
Right.
And then he just goes away and does those 10 things and we can just go on about our lives, right?
Like build a wall or.
Yeah, exactly. He can actually go build the wall.
Well, dude,
he can start laying bricks down.
This is one of the things I was thinking. So just before I left, I was scanning the news as I do in huge preparation for our podcast.
Mm-hmm. Hours.
And hours. And one of the things that I came across was this. There's they just put out the addendum. So you remember when they were talking about like the hacking scandal, and they said, there's what we're releasing to the public, and then there's the
real deal.
There's other things that we feel are too sensitive to release at this point.
Yep.
Oh my God, dude.
Have you read it? Have you read the addendum?
I didn't get the confidential briefing.
Oh, okay.
But the addendum that they just put out,
it
is not good.
Right. I mean, what is it saying? Just Russia got Trump elected? Is that basically in a nutshell?
So
simplify it for us, Doug.
All right. So in brief, the U.S. intelligence agency worked with the British intelligence agency to vet the relationship between Trump and the Kremlin, because they felt like there was a relationship there that was concerning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also no mystery that Putin and the Russian government weren't fans of Obama or Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? There was a lot of tension going on in the world between those two. Mm-hmm. So if Donald Trump's all buddy, like, hey, man, let's go drive a tank together.
Right.
I'm sure they're going to be like, hey, whatever we can do to get this guy elected, so we can go fly jets with him, we'll do.
And so that's where it gets sketchy, because
they actually flew jets together?
No. But if they did, that would be dope.
That would be. I mean,
dude, could you imagine like seeing like Trump and Putin like jet fighting together, like
Top Gun, shirts off,
high fiving everywhere,
that'd be scary.
Little volleyball action.
Yeah, exactly.
They were so this MI6 officer. So MI6 is the super secret arm of the British government. He found out he had close ties, and he is somebody that the U.S. government has worked very closely with before, who has always provided them with very credible information.
Yeah.
And that's something, when they use the term credible, it's a very, it's like
almost fact.
Yeah, it's almost fact.
I've watched Homeland before, bro.
Right. You're on it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help our listeners. I'm not saying that you don't know, Mike.
Yeah.
I know that you're up there. You're in the secret world.
Totally, man.
Yeah. So
spies.
Spies. You're our top detective.
I am
on the show.
People that listen know.
Yeah, people that listen know that Mike slowly, like, he has no idea what facts I throw at him, and so he slowly puts it together, and then all of a sudden he's like, I know what happened.
It's like a game of Clue.
Exactly. So anyway, they
MI6.
So MI6 found out all of this information that they deemed that the Kremlin had compromising financial and relationship ties to the Kremlin on Trump, and also his campaign, and he had a lot of documents to back that up. He did not go. He met. It was sounded like a clandestine meeting in Rome where he met with an FBI agent. They exchanged the information there, and then that agent took it back to the U.S. and briefed McCain. And McCain, I think, is on the head of the Senate Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
Don't fact check that.
That sounds good. Whatever.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's in some agency. But anyway, he took that, and the FBI has been reviewing that information for quite some time, because they want it to be rock solid before they put it forward. But one of the big things is, remember when Comey was releasing all that stuff about Hillary's emails?
Yeah.
Well, during that, Harry Reid started just laying into Comey, because they didn't have any information, on any improper dealings with Hillary Clinton. Yet they were releasing all of this very damning information.
Yeah.
They were saying that there could be possible ties. Well, at the same time, he knew that there was this damning information against Trump.
Yeah.
And he was being tight-lipped about it.
Yeah.
That's
politics, right?
That's politics. But now...
So what happens, Doug? So all of a sudden this MI6 information comes out. It turns out that Putin basically, who knows how he influenced it? Maybe he,
but
they hacked something and digitally got Trump an extra 2 million votes. What happens?
Well, that's going to be real. It's just going to depend on how high up his campaign what they're going to do is someone's going to take the bullet and say, "Oh, I was doing this behind Trump's back."
Yeah.
But in all actuality, Trump knew all about it.
Yeah.
There's no way he didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very hands-on campaign.
Look how much he tweets about things.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know if you remember, during this time, he stopped talking about all the trite things that he was talking about before. I mean, not trite, but they were just kind of knee-jerk getting the vote type things. Like, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to get jobs.
There's bad hombres out there.
Yeah,
we're going to make a factory again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he started talking about China. Remember?
No.
He started talking about China and
China. I thought you said Gina.
That's how he says it.
Okay. I'm like, what?
He says China.
You know what? I was reading something too where when he says bigly, he thinks he's saying big league.
No. Yeah. He's saying.
I know, but that's what they say. That's what he said. He goes, I don't say bigly, I say big league. I read it in Time Magazine. I'm like, really? What is that? What accent is that?
They've out of many of the things that he said, they've stopped bigly. And it's not big league. Like he's just trying to make it sound like he didn't make up a word.
Yeah.
And he makes up words all the time.
It does suck that I think bigly's kind of a cool word.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of think it is. Like, dude, this podcast is bigly, bro.
It's totally.
Like, I wish it, like, I like that how it sounds.
Yeah. Well, we'll be the bigly podcast in the future. So, yeah, he just stopped, but he stopped all of that. And then he started focusing on these huge political issues that he had never even really touched before.
Yeah.
And that's also disconcerting because China is not a great friend of Russia.
Yeah.
So now it seems like maybe the Kremlin injected ideas into his campaign to start formulating future foreign policy.
Alliances. Well, I mean, you got to ask if there's going to be if a world war is going to bust out, who do we want on our side, right? You know, and I mean, I wouldn't mind having Russia on our side.
Right. Well, okay.
I mean, I'm saying that's probably who knows? Maybe there's some back room where they're saying, hey, dude, here's the deal. Like, the next 5 years, man, it's going to be World War III bonanza.
Right.
We got to start drawing lines, man. You got to figure out where you want to, where you want your chips to fall.
Right. And it's no secret that China is has plans to. We talked about this in a previous podcast about them amassing gold to potentially drop the price of our dollar to nothing.
Yeah.
To start
start hyperinflation. Start a whole depression, crash the world economy. Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely, man.
So, but
that's why Doug's down with Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why I'm all about Bitcoin. So I think the bigger concern, which we'll find out. I mean, they're doing it now that they're releasing this information and it's coming more to light.
Yeah.
They're going to be under high pressure to the FBI and the CIA to start showing what they've learned.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what the facts are, right? And then number two, I think what's even more interesting is what's the outcome? Like you said, is it just going to be a fall guy saying, "Hey, I did this, my bad," or will it lead to something greater,
or more biglier,
Yeah, possible. Interesting, Doug.
So, anyways, this is the one thing that that really struck me as terrifying is Trump. I don't know if you remember, but like a week and a half ago, Trump said his next priority following building the wall and all these other things is restructuring our intelligence agency.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so basically what he did is it's a veiled threat to the intelligence agency.
I'm going to fire you guys. Yeah. If you find this information, you guys are going to be restructured.
Yeah, you're gonna all disappear.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. A week and a half ago, I was in Hawaii, Doug. So I don't know, man.
You're just like,
paying attention to
why am I back? Why am I not swimming with turtles?
I know. I'm like, what?
What?
The country's going crazy.
Did you see Tom Selleck? Was he driving like a Ferrari around there?
No. I wish. Oh. I wish. Hawaii's beautiful, though, man. A lot of it is very uninhabited. I went to the Big Island, saw the volcano blasting and stuff. It was cool. It was very, very aloha. Shaka.
Aloha. Hey, you're doing
my shaka. That's called a shaka.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
I thought it was the hang loose symbol.
That too.
We're doing the thumb out, pinky out.
Yeah, shaka.
Right.
Yeah, mahalo.
So anyway, Trump is his team for some reason can't comment immediately on this, so they're working on a statement.
Yeah, he hasn't tweeted about it yet.
No,
okay.
I think they're all like, you know what, this is kind of a bigger deal, Trump.
Yeah. You got to think about it.
We might want to think about this one because the next words out of your mouth could be really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. You'll keep us posted on this, Doug. This will be this is a developing story on Vomiting Rainbows.
Dude, we are like cutting edge when it comes to this. We were talking about this ages ago.
Yeah, like I think episode 3.
Yeah, I think the FBI and CIA have been listening to our podcast.
They might be
using it as actually. Are you the MI6?
It could be.
You could be.
Yeah, can't say.
It's too bigly for you to say right now.
It's too bigly.
So. On to like a true Vomiting Rainbows worthy story.
Yes.
This woman, Angela Diaz. Have you ever heard about this woman?
Man, that name sounds really familiar.
I hadn't heard anything about this story, but it is so crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
Hit
like,
me.
Yeah.
Hit me, Doug.
So this is like, she married this guy. They got divorced, and she like went crazy fatal attraction on him. Like you couldn't even write a movie that was more fatal attraction than she's going.
What was some of the stuff she did?
Well, first of all, he broke up with her and met another woman. The other woman and the other woman got pregnant very quickly.
Wow.
They got married. She didn't like that at all.
What did she do?
She got a little bit of revenge. So she started sending letters to the fiance.
Yeah.
With Bible verses and talking about how the daughter of sin would be destroyed and like,
oh no,
all of these things. And then she said that tonight is the night. You better watch your back. Like all of this stuff. And
I mean, you get a letter like that. I mean, that's like straight. Is this like an old timey letter or an email, Doug? Do you know?
It was an email, and it was an email that she had done some research on. She actually like hid the sender, sent it through a whole bunch of like whacked.
That's what's kind of crazy about crazy people like this, right? Like they're clearly detached from reality, yet they can figure out how to do all this stuff with technology, right?
Yeah. Oh no, this
unbelievable. If like, this lady would have just got a good job like at an IT place,
oh yeah,
she would have been fine.
And
like, dude, so this guy broke up with you. Here, you got a nice job doing IT.
Yeah,
look at all the cool computer stuff you can do.
Right, and she could have done, I don't know. Angela could have probably done a lot with the knowledge that she's put forth in just attacking her ex's new fiance.
Doug, you get an email like this at vomitingrainbows.com. What do you do, man? I mean, like, you start getting threatened or whatever by some crazy person.
Ooh, that would be awful.
Some crazy
Let's
girl.
Let's not talk about it. Let's not.
What if the girl's like super hot though?
Oh, she's super hot. Does she have candy wrappers?
Will
she send them to me?
Yeah.
At the station here.
It's possible.
That'd be awesome. So yeah, she started sending these really aggressive letters. And then at the same time, she was posting on Craigslist about a girl who wanted to have a rape fantasy and to come over to her house and to rape her. And even if she put up a fight, know that she was still into it, even if she screamed or said she wasn't interested. And
so she's like setting up this girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is insane.
So she's setting.
And are you telling me? Listen, I haven't been on Craigslist. And when I do go to Craigslist, it's usually for like car parts and stuff. Are you telling me that there's people on Craigslist that would read something like that and be like, "Dude, I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm going to show up on Friday and I'm going to break in this house and be like, are people that dumb?" You know what I mean? Like I can just imagine this Craigslist post like, "Hey, break in my house and beat me to death, or beat me to an inch of my life."
Yeah.
And like some guys are like, "Oh, that's just what I'm wanting to do."
I feel like there are some.
The answer is yes.
Well, yes, and then also you got to remember this is Anaheim, so it's L.A., the Orange County area. There's a lot of people who have some deviant preferences out there.
Yeah, but I mean that just seems like. I mean, my point is like if you want to have fantasies and you want to do deviant things, like that's fine, but it just seems like. It seems like if you're going to do something this off Craigslist, you really, really have to make sure that it's like a legitimate thing. Like not just go, "Oh, I got the Craigslist ad. This will be my alibi if the cops storm in and arrest me." Or do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I just especially if you're doing something way, way, way crazy, like breaking into someone's house and don't wake me up. Just break in the house and come get me in this room. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
It's like me saying, hey, let's play fantasy. Like, go rob this bank.
Right.
And drop the money off, in my house. Some guy goes and robs a bank. He's like, yeah, there's Craigslist. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be a solid defense unless you were just not mentally quite the brightest. But I think the other thing that she was planning, obviously, for backlash on this. And so she staged a scene in her house that she said she had been attacked. Somebody had come into her house and attacked her and beat her up. And she had a whole crime scene there.
This is the ex.
The ex.
Wow.
So she was like preparing to say, no, he's trying to attack me and setting me up for attacking her.
Yeah. Wow, that's even crazier.
Yeah.
I mean, if she just are we sure that she's not right?
We're not 100% sure.
Okay.
But
because it just seems like a lot of effort. Like if she would have just put this effort into the relationship, you know what I mean? Like maybe, I don't know, just been a little bit
the
more
thing
into
that the
it.
cops are, which teed them off that it's definitely her, is the staged crime scene.
Got it. So what's the body count? Where are we at, Doug, in this story?
How many people have died?
Yeah.
This is a happy one.
Okay.
We have no deaths in this at all.
Just assaults.
No attempted assaults.
Okay.
So they're saying that the fact that she posted this is an attempt to get her assaulted.
Yeah.
And then one of them was also like a kidnap fantasy, so she's got kidnapping charges against her as well.
So thank God that no one saw the Craigslist ad. Like, cool, I got a van. I'm going to grab this lady and throw her in my thing. Awesome
I don't
fantasy.
think anyone really answered the ads, but there was enough. So they did, after she staged the scene, they arrested her for staging the scene and a false police report. And also for sending intimidating emails to the ex-wife. Yeah. But she bonded out. And after that, what would you think she would do? Maybe stop?
I don't know, man. This chick's so crazy. I kind of want to meet her. I'm kind of interested now.
It's kind of a turn on now.
She's like dedicated. I mean, she kept going after the guy.
Yeah, she kept going, did not stop.
God, man.
She started stealing from her employer, faking cancer and other illnesses, and kept her campaign going.
To harass this guy and his new lady. Well, thank God the baby didn't get hurt. I thought it was going to be one of these like crazy stories where like she took the kid and like cut the wife's face off and like wore it to the guy's like retirement party or something. Like just,
No, they so she's was arrested in Arizona. She's facing 32 charges, and
so 32 charges of like setting up an attempted burglary and assault and kidnapping. What does that get? About 3 weeks in jail?
Just on 21 of the counts, she would be facing 12 years. But the total sum of all 32 is life in prison.
See, the thing that sucks though is like she'll probably end up going to prison maybe for a year. Maybe 3-year sentence, out in a year. This guy's got to like basically change his identity, move, like change his whole life if he wants peace, man. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna be looking over his back the rest of his life.
Yeah,
he's got to like totally,
Yeah, they've been very concerned for the welfare of the husband and the wife and the child because they said that this woman has shown time after she's violated restraining orders. She's off the deep end. And but they didn't have enough to hold her in jail because the thing in the U.S. is you're not guilty of a crime until you actually commit it. Yeah. So the crime that she was committed of, she was able to bond out on. So she's legally allowed to be out.
Yeah. She just needs to meet some other dude. Like that some guy's going to like cross her path and she's going to be like, Doug. And that's going to be it. Then this guy's, finally going to be like free. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think, a person like that, if I had to like do a scorecard as far as like potential good relationship, I mean, she has a lot of things in the plus column. She just needs to apply herself in a different direction. I mean, like someone that committed and like with that much energy and willing to put that much attention to detail into a plan. I mean, you know what I mean? She'd be like a great gardener. Like you could marry her and be like, hey, can we plant this garden in my backyard? And like,
are you saying that you're willing to mentor her?
No, I'm just saying that like it's amazing the amount of energy she has.
I feel like you're ready to take her under your wing and
exactly
and help her.
Can you please
find the path of righteous?
Can you please organize my garage?
Right.
Take that energy and organize.
Well, I could definitely use the organization in the garage help.
Be great.
That'd be awesome. So she's in Arizona right now in jail. And they're trying to extradite her back to California. And they have a ton of stuff waiting for her. So I don't think we'll hear the end of that story, and I think probably more and more things will come out, but I don't think they want to rile her up until they're sure she's behind bars.
That's right, man. Keep that pot kind of simmering.
And her parents say that this is all a setup against her.
Yeah.
And she's done nothing to
like the guy's the crazy one. The guy's just trying to screw her. Yeah. See, I don't know, man. That could be possible, dude. I don't know. You know, who knows what this guy is, what kind of strings he has.
But he left her, and he's now with.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, to the female listeners listening to this, I mean, ladies, you know there are dudes that are just as psycho.
Right.
Like there are crazy, vindictive,
yeah,
like mentally whacked dudes that would like go to great lengths to ruin a chick's life. I mean, you know, I'm just saying we don't know 100% the facts here.
Right.
And I'm saying this could be one of those stories that we follow up on, Doug, and there's a massive twist where it's the dude that's all crazy.
Well, according to the APD, Anaheim Police Department, they say they have an airtight case.
Against her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
So they feel extremely confident. And the reason that there was 6 weeks that they had of just intense computer forensic investigation just to prove.
You're telling me that the Anaheim Police Department spent 6 weeks just investigating like the email and website of this one case?
Of this one case.
Oh, my God.
They were ready. Well, they were.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would expect maybe like a case like this, like you sign to some dude, he might spend 3 hours on this, and he should be able to figure this stuff out. 6 weeks.
Yeah, she was using like VPN. She was being good.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, she was using stealth technology.
Huh. 6 weeks. That's crazy.
Crazy. So anyway, we talk about death and on this podcast, and usually really traumatic ways mostly to humans. But a couple of times we brought some animals in.
Oh,
so
what are you doing?
I figure we should talk about the one animal that we've probably all heard about by now. And I'm going to say his name wrong, but you'll Tilikum. Do you know him?
Tilikum.
Tilikum.
Nah, man.
He's a killer whale at SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah. I did hear about this. Yeah, something like that. Do you know Ricky Rackman? Do you know who that guy is?
Uh-uh.
He used to host Headbangers Ball.
Oh, okay.
And then he used to host Loveline with Dr. Drew and stuff. He's a huge like killer whale freedom guy.
Yeah.
Like super huge into it. And you know who else is super into that? Who's a dude that I think it was Steve-O. Didn't Steve-O like climb up on that crane and like wave some kind of flag to liberate the orcas from captivity?
I don't remember that.
Man.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Like Steve. Like,
let me look it up. I'll look it up. I'll go to the interwebs.
Yeah, but that's a big thing, man. I mean, it's that's a big movement. But this one passed away. It was in captivity for like what 500 years or something. Or
Steve-O gladly goes to jail for SeaWorld's orcas.
See, look at that.
Yeah, that was in October of 2015.
Look at that memory thing.
You got it going
2 years,
on.
bro.
Yeah, so he went to jail to protest the mistreatment of the SeaWorld animals.
Yeah. But I mean, but this,
and it was on a crane.
Kilimata or whatever the killer whale name is passed away like not natural causes because it was in captivity, but it wasn't like it was like beat to death or like
no.
Okay, so this isn't like some horrific animal torture story.
Other
than it being held in captivity its entire life.
Basically, what the SeaWorld is saying, and they have a new department called SeaWorld Cares.
Yeah.
Or that's, I guess, their PR company is SeaWorld Cares. But they said That he passed away early on the morning of January 6th, surrounded by trainers and this loving, caring staff that provided him round-the-clock, world-class care.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because it's like people that work there love animals, and then they kind of, I'm sure it's awesome to work with a killer whale, but they kind of miss the point. Like, it's like, dude, this thing shouldn't be here, but it's there,
right?
So they can't just let it die. So they care for it. I mean, it's a weird situation. I know this happens a lot with people that work. They love cats and dogs, and they end up working at animal shelters. And what they don't realize is like part of that job is to put dogs and cats to sleep. And it like mentally, I've heard stories, dude, where like it mentally like causes so much trauma for these people that work at these animal shelters because they really just want to help animals out.
Yeah.
But then they end up like killing animals constantly. That's what they do all day.
Yeah, it's a large percentage. And they usually have a person who can handle that.
But still, I mean, it's rough. It's like,
not something I could do.
Yeah. And, and most of the kind of animal amusement parks have kind of, they kind of changed over the years. I mean, I remember like locally, like Six Flags used to have like all kinds of elephants and stuff. And, as the years go on, they go to some refuge and, it's just not the way it is anymore. You know?
One guy, I heard him talking about, he has started this in California. He has this huge area of land that's been donated to him for animals that were in captivity or being mistreated. Yeah. And he lets them roam free. And they have feeding and things like health care for them, but they have to go find them to provide them with all of these things. There are no cages unless they're severely injured.
Well, it's like, remember that lady got eaten by the lion at the SF Zoo all those years ago? And she was like the lion trainer. She was like the lion, she'd love lions. Like she'd love that animal. And then the animal ate her. I mean, the thing is, like, I love the zoos. I love seeing animals, I mean, I love seeing that. But in a sense, I mean, it's kind of like a zoo just in the theory is kind of messed up, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's
but a lot of those animals are like injured. A lot of those animals are rescued from like places. So I think that's one thing, right? But I guess I haven't really thought this out too much. But
Steve Irwin, his big thing was
I love Steve Irwin. I interviewed Steve Irwin. Dude. That guy had like a huge impact on my life, man.
He was amazing.
And usually when I talk about Steve Irwin, people start laughing at him. They think I'm joking. They think because the show's kind of he was like a dorky dude, but he was like that's exactly how he was like in real life. Like he was just a real dude, and he was I remember him talking about it, like asking him like, dude, aren't you even scared like you're gonna die by one of these animals? And he's like, live a life. He goes, what was it? This was his quote. He'd say, live a wildlife warrior, die a wildlife warrior. And that's what he said. I was like, and he was I tell you what, man, I haven't come across that many people that were more passionate human beings. I mean, that like I'm trying to think of like say if I've met 10,000 people, that dude's like in the top 5 most passionate, most impactful people I've ever met.
Yeah,
easily.
And one of the big things that he believed in, his wildlife park was an open wildlife park. You went in there and there were animals walking around you, and that was his whole thing.
No cages.
They had like open areas, but like they were very low borders, and he didn't put animals in there that without people around them, but he did not believe that they should be in enclosures. He thought that was a horrible thing to do to an animal.
Yeah.
He said he didn't believe in prisons, and the cages for the animals he thought were inhumane.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Like, I have friends that have birds, like really cool birds, and birds are like actually like super cool pets to have.
Right.
From what I understand, really noisy, but super cool. But like at the same time, like it's like you have a bird, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like it's in a cage. Yeah. I remember I had a friend, I can't remember who it was, but they were telling me how they had a pet bird when they were a kid, and they would fly with it. Like they'd bring it on a plane. They bring the caged bird on a plane and fly around the country with it. And I'm like, like if that bird could have consciousness, it'd be like, what am I doing? Like,
right.
I can fly.
I could get there on my own.
Yeah,
dude.
I can do this on my own.
Why don't you tell me where to meet you?
Yeah, like I'm in a cage on a plane flying. This is insanity. Like only mankind would create such an insane type of like situation. I mean, I don't know. So like, I've wanted birds as pets, but then like I couldn't handle them. Being in a cage. Like I used to work at a pet store and I spent all my time in the birds.
But like, for example, there's this guy, in my neighborhood in Hayes Valley, and he's had
feeding pigeons on the street. That's not cool either.
He has a macaw, and they live forever. They
Yeah.
live for about 50 years, and he's had him since it was a baby macaw.
Unbelievable.
And he has no cage. He puts him on a little stand in his house.
Yeah.
And the macaw sits there and sleeps there at night. Sometimes will come walk up over to him.
Yeah.
He walks around town with him
because
on his shoulder.
that's a dedicated pet owner. That's
Right.
a guy who's saying, like, you know what, this pet
needs freedom.
Yeah, and needs will be met no matter what. Like if it poops all over my cereal bowl, oh well. Because its freedom is paramount. And I think that's the thing is if you really think about it, not to get nitpicky with pet owners, but I think a lot of pet owners really don't want to take the responsibility, effort, and time that it really takes to give a lot of animals, the kind of lifestyle that they deserve.
Yeah,
there you go.
I completely agree. Yeah. So anyway, he passed away. They're going to do an autopsy on him, but really, what they're going to find out is that captivity just wore him down.
Yeah.
They're trying to say he lived a long life for a whale.
In captivity.
And then they put the addendum in captivity.
But now, what's the backstory on that whale? I mean, was that whale was it beached? Was it because I know
they caught him from a pod, and that's why he became so aggressive.
Yeah,
is because he was with a family. They removed him from the family, and he was trying to get back to the family.
I know the Marin Mammal Center, like up there where they do all the sea lions and seals. Like if they find a sea lion that's all mangled, they'll basically raise it and heal it, and then they set them free.
Yeah.
Which is rad. It's like they do that all the time. You can go up there and check it out. All the seals and stuff. It's super cool.
Yeah. So that the big thing that he was a problem. They called him. They would not let him out with other trainers anymore because he was the one that killed the
chick.
The trainer.
Yeah.
And then also a guy snuck into the park and he killed him in the park when he was playing around in the water. He wanted to swim with a whale or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of dig that.
Just jumping in the park.
Like, I mean, I like that passion to be near wildlife. Like the guy's like, dude, that's it. I'm going to sneak in after hours. I'm going to go, go wrestle a bear or whatever. I mean,
if that's the way you want to go.
Yeah,
it's fine. But yeah, so the big thing is that they the training is basically starvation. So they starve them, and they get food if they do the trick.
Yeah.
So that's why the lion got, or the
whale lion.
Yeah, whale lion, killer whale lion.
Yeah.
The killer whale lion got upset because he thought he did the trick. He didn't get a treat, and then he went and did another trick, and she only gave him half the treats.
Oh, he's like,
and
what's
he was
up?
like, he got pissed, and he swam around the tank. Really, you see him like pitch a fit. And then he comes back over and he grabs her and he's like, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Pulled her underwater.
Yeah.
So, so
well, rest in peace, Orca.
Yeah.
Free the whales.
Poor guy. So anyway, so that's basically it. I mean, we had also great news, which is they caught all the people that you were concerned about, the ones that tied up Kim Kardashian.
Oh, did they really? They caught all of them?
They caught them all.
Crazy.
And they also allude to the fact that they might be part of this group of
paparazzi?
No, they're like they're a bunch of Somali born heistmen, and they are kind of in this Pink Panther vein where they go in, they do more elaborate heists.
Yeah.
And these guys were dressed as police officers.
Yeah. I wonder if Kanye's gonna. I want those guys in a room.
Yeah.
He's gonna interrogate them or face them.
If he faced these guys in a room, they would probably beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, they'd probably eat his face off. It's true.
Yeah.
Some pretty crazy dudes.
So that's the positive news. So basically, that's episode 20. If you liked it, please listen to more. We have 19 more that you probably haven't heard.
We have a basic audio library now.
An audio library.
Archive.
And it's all on Vomiting Rainbows for free. VomitingRainbows.com. You can send Mike an email at contact@vomitingrainbows.com. And, please follow us on all of our social media. We're We Vomit Rainbows on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.